Good evening, everyone. I'm Nathan, here with my wonderful wife, Laura.
Hello.
And we're here for a new version of Monopoly, Monopoly Builder.
Relatively new.
Relatively new.
It's been out for a little while now, but this one is kind of like a regular Monopoly, but with some actual upwards building instead of just placing a hotel on a property.
Yeah, so there's actually physical buildings you have to build rather than just buying properties, as Laura just said.
There's potentially going to be some penthouses, or a penthouse.
Yes, there is only one penthouse in the game.
I don't know why I said potentially either. You have to place it to win.
Yes,
So
or end the game.
to end the game.
So basically, a very similar Monopoly board. You go around buying properties and you sort of use resources instead of money to buy and build
properties. Yeah.
It's interesting because you've got regular Monopoly money and something called resources, and the money aspect doesn't really come into it nearly as much as you'd think.
Not as much. No. It comes much more down to your resources and some strategy actually about where you build and what you build and when.
I'm gonna just preemptively say sorry. There's a lot to explain with this game, so forgive us if we get anything sort of minorly wrong. This is a little money tray. You have to build it, you clip it in.
Yeah, pop those through.
And then the money sort of just sits in there.
It does not fit back in the box though, which is why ours is still flat.
Yes, so...
yeah, you can't physically fit it quite right all in here without a lot of difficulty.
So Monopoly Isle, it's basically a quick start just to explain sort of what each sort of card does.
But then there's also a proper set of instructions, tells you what's different and how to play. There'll be a link down below to like a database of all of our board game instructions, so you can find this one there as well.
So you can only have a maximum of 4 players in this game.
Unlike some other Monopolies, yep.
So you've got Hazel the cat, Penguin,
Penguin the penguin,
T-Rex, and Rubber Duck. I believe, what does it say? It explains each character actually has a little like bio or a little descriptiveness about the character. I can't remember where it is.
I don't remember seeing that. That one's on you.
Here it is, on the quick start card.
Oh.
So T-Rex says building motto: if you have short arms, get a longer hammer. Hazel likes to have the tallest building in town so she can climb to the top and nap in the sun. Rubber Ducky, his strategy to build is to build along the coast so he can spend his breaks floating in the water. And Penguin never builds on an empty stomach. A penguin after my own heart.
There you go. So each of these little cards coincides with the piece you play. So whatever piece you pick, you take the corresponding card. They are double-sided. They're kind of cardboard, but they are, you know, flimsy cardboard, I suppose. Not in a bad way.
But they've got that sort of thing where if you wrote a texture on it, you could rub it off.
Yeah, it's kind of glossy.
Yeah.
Don't do that though. That's not what they're for. They show you though what you do on your turn and kind of in which order you're supposed to do it. They just remind you what the building resources are so that you know they don't have the words of them on the board. And then how to build what you need. So the first floor of your building, which is worth 1 point, which is important.
Yes, that's a point system in play here.
Yeah, that's how you win, whoever has the most points. You need 2 resources for the first floor, second floor is only 3.
But then you need specific ones plus a mystery, and then as you get higher, you need actual specific ones.
Yeah, you can probably see the points go up quite a lot as you get higher. This is the penthouse at the top here. There is only one of these, and whenever it is placed, the whole game is over, and then you add up your points. So if you place it, you aren't guaranteed to win, although the building is worth a lot more if you are the person who builds it.
Just one more thing about the cards. Character pieces, the only difference between all the character pieces is if someone rolls a 6, Ducky will get 2 sort of boats, Hazel gets 2 cranes, Penguin gets 2 tipper lorries, and T-Rex gets 2 excavators.
Yes.
Apart from that, there is no differences between the characters.
That's anytime anyone rolls a 6 in the game, everybody benefits from it.
Yep.
Or maybe not benefits, so we'll get to that. So the pieces themselves, again, they just match those little sheet. So we have Penguin here. He's in a little like...
safety vest.
What would be like a high-vis vest, yeah.
He's got his little lunch box. He's off to work because he never works with an empty stomach, remember?
Of course.
We have a Rubber Ducky.
With a little hard hat.
Little cute Rubber Ducky.
These are nice. Like they've made them into like builders.
We have T-Rex. It looks like he's wearing sort of some earmuffs, and he's got like a jackhammer or something there.
Yeah, it looks like it's a jackhammer.
And we have a Puss Hazel, who's got like a little tool belt and tools and things.
Yeah. They're nice. I like the pieces in this. It is kind of a shame that there's not more players, because then there would be more pieces, but alas.
And then they're just plain bog standard 2 die.
We then have another little cardboard thing that you can put together. We opted to use this one.
Because it does actually, we could put one or the other in. This is much more convenient to have all the small resources in.
Yeah, so you put this together. All of these little resource like tokens have to be pushed out of a sheet when you first purchase the game.
Which took quite a while. I've got the pushed out sheets below. We'll show you.
Great. So that is our excavator. They are double-sided, and then the colour as well coincides. For example, the excavator is green. It goes with the T-Rex because that's what he gets when you roll 6. Boats are yellow.
That's Rubber Ducky's favourite.
Our tipper lorry
Penguin's favourite.
Sided, and our last one is our crane, which is purple. These are sturdy, but when you sort of push them out, there's a couple of little tears and things that can sort of happen. There's not heaps and heaps of these. That's because you can only have 6 at the start of your turn.
Yeah, so we'll explain sort of the turn procession when we open up the board. We have most of the denominations. There are no 1s.
No.
So you got 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, and 500s in the same colours they are in a regular Monopoly.
I was going to say, yep, they follow the same.
But you only start with 900 at the game. At the start of the game, instead of I think 1300 in a 1500. So
I think, yeah. We also have 2. There's only 2 of these. They are bonuses, so they can get you more points at the end of the game. There's a builder's bonus, which is worth 5 points. This is the community builder. Sorry. You have to have the biggest neighbourhood, which means all the buildings you've built are kind of next to each other. So whoever has the most buildings right next door to each other gets this at the end of the game. Extra 5 points, very useful. The 3-point is the billionaire builder, which is whoever has the most cash on hand at the end of the game.
Which in told, I mean, I played yesterday with Laura and I think I got 35 points and you got...
I don't think it was that
all
much,
30 points? And
he trounced me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I got this at the end. The 3 points didn't make a difference.
No.
So, yeah. We then have chance cards. No community chests in this particular Monopoly version, though.
Hang on, let me separate them from the properties.
Everything's very blue.
It really is. Well, blueprints, building, it sort of fits the theme.
It makes sense, yeah.
So some of these play immediately and some of them keep until needed. So this one just says free resource, roll 1 die, collect that many of any one resource from the bank, so extremely useful.
Yeah, it depends on which floor you're going on, whether you don't care what resource you get or whether, you need like a crane specifically for floor 4 or the penthouse.
Investment opportunity, move to the next unowned property and buy or auction it. If there are no unowned properties, do nothing. Ooh, chance, and this one says, keep this card until you're ready to use it. Forced trade any one of your resources for any one of another player's resource. They must accept the trade.
So again, this comes in handy at the end of well, not the end, but towards like higher buildings, because it's any resource in the earlier ones. You'd probably hold on to that card if it's right at the start.
But to do the penthouse, you need one of each one plus a mystery.
So if you've got a whole bunch of cranes, but you really need an excavator, you're going to look for who has one and swap.
This one just says take one and you run resource from any one player, or from each player, sorry. Another investment opportunity, get out jail free card, classic.
Yes, the jail is still in the game.
It's your birthday. Mr. Monopoly sends you presents. Take 2 of any type of resource from the bank. And this one, I don't know why it's to use it when you're ready to use it, but it is.
Well, it's use it when you're ready to use it because at the start of your turn, you can only go into the turn with a maximum of 6 resources. It doesn't matter what they are, you just can't have more than 6. If you do have excess, you have to choose what to discard.
Yes.
So, it's, if you've already got 6 and you get that card to pick up more, you would hold it for when you don't have 6.
This one's basically cancel another action against you.
Very useful.
You basically go to jail.
Yep.
Straight away. Another go to jail, forced trade, another cancel, another action. And
there's a few of them that repeat again.
So that's sort of your deal.
We then have our deed cards, but they are quite different to a regular Monopoly. There's no, 1 house, 2 house, a hotel amount.
Now, there's actually less properties in total in this board.
Yes. We'll show you the board in a minute.
The Old Kent Road, Whitechapel Road, and Park Lane and Mayfair still have their 2.
Yes.
The rest only have 2 properties each.
Yeah, so 1 has been deleted off each of the others. Now these cards, just let me show you one in detail, are quite different again from the normal. So they'll have the name at the top. If you own this property or any other property, you have a look here. When a player rolls a number here, you get to collect something.
That's any player.
Yeah, so anyone who rolls it. So Nathan could roll it, but I own this, and I go, great, he's rolled 3. I get 2 boats. So you have to really be paying attention, especially when you own a lot of properties. Now, if someone lands on it, they're going to pay you the 30 in rent.
Which
still.
is a completely different rent amount than a regular Monopoly. I think Whitechapel Road is like $2 usually or something.
Right, so they varied it up. If you do own the colour set, so if I had Whitechapel and Old Kent, it can then be doubled to 60. You can see both in the set, although they have different roll numbers, they have the same values. There's no variation from one to the other in this one.
So this one's... when we played, collecting rent and thing didn't really come into a factor. It was just about who had the most properties, so you get more chances to get more resources when certain numbers are rolled.
Yeah, exactly. That's really the important part here. At the end of the game, however many properties you own, they all come into play with your point system to try and win. So if you have the colour set, you get 2 points.
If you only got one, you get nothing.
Now, on the back, there is still a mortgage value of 60, or to unmortgage 60, so you can turn it over and still mortgage if you're low on money. You can't go bankrupt necessarily in this game, but you kind of can still.
Yeah, so if basically, the two ways, the only way the game ends if a penthouse is built.
Penthouse, yes.
If I happen to run out of money and I go bankrupt, all my properties either go to the bank, if it's the bank that bankrupted me, or another player if I land on one of their properties. And then I basically just sit around and wait till the game ends and then total up whatever points I've got when I ended the game.
Technically you can still have points at the end of the game, but it says you're not out of the game. But if you have no money and you've had to mortgage all your things and then give them to someone, what points are you going to have?
Well, you still have your buildings on the board, but the other person's definitely going to build the penthouse. So
right, if you've got no money and someone else you're playing with has all the properties because you've given them to them, it's a bit weird, but I get why they've done that, but...
So anyway, you've got each one, so this one, there's 2 4s there.
Yeah, so I mean 2 people could potentially collect on the same number. Again, you really have to pay attention. You can't stack these up in a pile next to you. You have to have them laid out so you can see what the numbers are.
And obviously this is particularly... So this one actually, both of them are 7s. So if you roll a 7, you get 4 resources, and at the end of the game you get 5 points for the complete colour set.
Yeah. And obviously it's $400 if you, or Monopoly money, if you land on that. And then, someone owns it. So,
Alright. How about open it the right way?
I think we should do the board.
Alright.
Those are the building pieces there. Take out our tray.
So there's all the pieces you have to sort of push out and things.
Yep. Just move that over there. I need to make a bit of room. Hang on, let me move these. Just moving everything. Alright, so our 4 corners have all the same things as normal. We have go here. We have our just visiting or jail there.
Free parking, which actually has a small function in this game. Go to jail and...
Go I've already said, yep.
Yeah.
So go works in the same way. You get 200 if you land on it or pass. Over here, again, if you're in jail, you're in the in jail part, but you can just land on it and visit. Free parking, do you want to read that?
So free parking, if you land on it, you can trade any 2 resources for any one in the bank.
Yeah.
So if I have like 5 boats, I don't need 5 boats. I could change 2 boats for 1 crane or 1 tipper lorry or something.
Yeah, so just another little way to trade. You can trade them with the bank at any given time, even if you don't land on free parking, but it's 4 of 1 resource for 1 at the bank. So this just reduces that cost.
You got to be pretty desperate, I think, to
do 4 for 1. You got to be near the end of the game.
If you land in jail, it works the same as in a regular Monopoly. So you can either roll 3 doubles in a row, you get sent to jail, land on the space, and then you get 3 rolls to try and roll a double, or you can use a get out of jail free card.
Or pay 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still do everything in jail as if you weren't in jail, except build.
Yes, now that's what this middle bit is for. We'll get to that. Other spaces on the board first, we have chances. You pick up a chance card and follow the instructions. Around here, we have collect. So there's, I think, 1 for each different type of resource on the board.
3, 4.
Yep. You just collect 2 of whatever resource you land on. No stations in this. You roll your dice, whatever numbers you get. You collect whatever's next to it.
The 4 stations are replaced with a roll for resources and the steal 1 resource on either side.
On the other sides. Yep. So those are useful. Take them away from someone, get them for yourself.
And then it's just the regular sort of properties.
Yep, but again, 2 of each only. All right, so the last kind of, and I guess the main part of the game is the building. So each player gets their corresponding colour building pieces. So say I was playing as yellow, or you're going to play as yellow. Say Nathan was playing as yellow, he would take 12 yellow pieces.
There's only 12, so there's actually a maximum of how many buildings you can build. Yeah,
so it does say to obviously strategize and think about what you're doing, where you're building them, because you run out of them. These are hard plastic. They've got some detail on the side. Not
A little
heaps,
skyscraper
but
or
just enough.
something.
Yep. And they are hollow in the middle because they do stack together.
There's one of each colour for each one of the characters.
12 purple, 12 green, 12 yellow, 12 red.
And you have like a little pearlescent sort of penthouse one which goes on top of 4 other built ones.
Yes, you have to have 4 floors before that can go on. You can't put this just on the ground because that wouldn't be a penthouse. It just wouldn't.
How about you go purple? Get a couple of purples.
Sure. So, you can, on your turn, like after you roll, you want to obviously move, collect any resources that you're owed from like your roll or whatever you've landed on. The next step on your turn is, and move, sorry. You can then do any trading you want to do because it does mention you can trade properties and resources. I mean, depends on who you're playing with, whether that comes into play. We don't usually trade.
This game ends very quickly. So
yeah, it's not a long one.
It's really not, in my opinion, worth trading. It's not like a regular Monopoly where you can be there for days, months, years.
Years, wow. Alright, so the last thing you do on your turn is build. So maybe I had a few resources and I wanted to build my first floor. I only need 2 of any resource. So I would give those to the bank, pop them in there.
Which is shown here on Laura's card because she's got purple.
Yep, I would take one of these and then I have to place it in one of these slots. So there's little gaps here in each little square.
What I almost got confused at the start, they've all got colours. It's irrelevant.
Yes.
It's just decoration. You can put them anywhere, regardless of where you are.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of detail in the middle of this board. Like there's wood here, there's a little free parking area over there.
There's all construction
vehicles.
crews.
It's quite cool that they've put that level of detail in, but we're going to cover that up. Most of it anyway.
Yeah.
So I would think about where I wanted to put it. It doesn't matter necessarily, like if I'm sitting over this side of the board, I'd probably build it somewhere near me just so I can reach it.
The only reason that you would maybe put a little bit of thought into it is the builder bonus, where any connecting properties, if I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 properties here, I've got 4 properties connected.
And then you would get the community builder bonus.
If you only had, say, 3 properties in a neighbourhood.
Versus that, you mean? Yeah, so if Nathan had 5 right next to each other and I only had 3, he would get that one. So say I might put this one here. There's a little notch on 2 sides that match the hole.
And yes, it's very easy to knock them, if anyone wants to know.
They feel like they go in and you think, great, that's fine. But when you start going, oh, okay, I'm going to add to this on my next turn. So I'd pay my 3 resources and I put that on, say, on another turn. Oh, I'm going to go my 3rd floor. I've got my tipper lorry, my excavator and 1 other resource. They have to go a specific way too. So they click in. You think, okay, this one's staying not too bad, but if you knock it at all, they do come out. Now this may or may not be a problem for you, depends on, I guess, where you're playing, who you're playing with, the age of the people you're playing with.
But it's definitely a possibility that happened to us several times throughout the game.
Where's the dice? At one point, we were rolling the dice, and it actually knocked over one of ours because we were playing on some carpet.
Yes,
so,
that was not the greatest idea.
No, I would recommend a sturdier surface. When you do start to build around, say I was aiming for that community one, and so I might be, several turns in, I'm going to pay for another 1st floor because you can. You don't have to keep building up. You can
build wherever you want. I could go, down, no, I'm building here so you don't get...
Yeah, so Nathan could try and stop me. I could try and stop him from having a community area. When you start getting a lot of them and you go, oh no, I've done something wrong or knocked something, they do get knocked.
Yeah, mine's starting to sort of fall out.
Not the worst thing, but... anyway, so after we've gone through, played the game, gone around, done the 4th floor, now maybe I've got the resources for the penthouse, but I'm looking and thinking, wow, Nathan has so many more buildings than me, and he's got a lot of money, so he's probably going to get the billionaire builder bonus. I don't want to put the penthouse up because I don't think I'm going to win right now.
And that would end the game.
I don't have to. I can keep using these. I can keep moving around the board, keep trying to get other things built to give myself more points. Obviously the risk with that, not going straight away into that penthouse when you've got your 4 floors, is that someone else might and they might end the game.
And 16 points is a hell of a lot of points in the context of the game.
Yeah, so the most recent time that we've played, Nathan got the penthouse, and so we had 16 points just for one of his buildings. I think my tallest was 3. So 6 to 16, it makes a big difference. So you've really got to think about, is it worth going to this point but not putting the penthouse on, or do you want to rush to get through it? Again, it's going to depend on who you're playing with and their strategy as well.
Theoretically, you could stalemate the game. So if you've only got 12 buildings each, and you place all your buildings but you've got no ones that are 4 high, theoretically the game couldn't end.
Well, that's true, yeah, because the penthouse can only go on top, but then that would be kind of silly. You would have to make sure you left enough to have a building big enough to put the penthouse on. Otherwise, why bother, you know? As
Laura was saying about the resources, you can only have 6 in your hand at the start of your turn. If you start the turn, you have more resources because someone rolled and you got resources on your off turn. You then have to discard all the excess resources on whatever space you're at.
Yeah, so you leave them wherever you are. So if I was on this chance and I had to get rid of a crane or 2 cranes, they go there. If anyone then lands on this space or just moves over the top of it, they collect those, which could be great for them, or that could put them over their 6, so at the start of their next turn they need to discard some.
Yeah, so pretty much, unless you don't have, if you've already got a 4 and you've got excess sort of tokens, always try and build something.
Yeah.
That's sort of the aim.
Because otherwise you're going to lose them and potentially give them to someone else by leaving them on the board.
So basically, let's just say we're ending the game. We've gone around. I've got my 4. I've built my penthouse. Great, fantastic. Game's over. We then
add up our points.
We tally up the bonuses, which is the...
yeah, so say how Nathan set it up here. He's got 1, 2, 3, and there's a building behind here. 4 buildings. I've only got 3 next to each other, so Nathan would get the community builder card, our builder's bonus. And I don't know, maybe I had the most money. We didn't get the cash out, obviously. Say I had the most money, I would get that.
And then you'd calculate how tall each building is and add it up.
So I would have a 4 building, which is 10. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 1 floors, which are 1 point each. So that would give me 13 points. I then have my billionaire builder bonus. That's another 3. So that would take me to the 16. And then I'd have a look at any card sets I've got. So maybe I had a couple of sets, I could get some more points from those.
Maybe you take like 20 or something.
Yeah.
And then I get my 16, so I've almost beaten you with just my penthouse.
Exactly. So that penthouse makes a difference. So say you had 16 there, and then you'd add a 2 building and a 1 and a 1 and a 1, plus your community builders bonus and any from
the sets
owned. And then whoever has the highest number is the winner. Which obviously in this case would be Nathan.
Yeah, so pretty much...
If this is how you ended the game.
In most games, like catching the golden snitch in Harry Potter, you get that, you get a whole bunch of points. You're not guaranteed winning, but you're pretty solid position.
Yeah, because of the points it brings. It's different enough from normal Monopoly that it's fun to play, but it's still Monopoly enough that it's Monopoly, if that makes sense.
We just found that money didn't really come into it too much.
No, because you're spending your resources, not your money.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of opportunities to roll or pick up resources. So that's really the focus here. But yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed watching this video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section down below if you've picked this one up and did you enjoy it? Did you find the changes positive?
Yeah, I think it was quite a nice sort of breezy game, not too long, but enough strategy in it.
Yeah. Hit that subscribe button and check back soon. We have videos every single Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.